Okay, chat, let's talk about the altar. So, when I went to Warsaw, I went there to play 2 games with 11-bit, alright? One of them was obviously Frostpunk 2. That embargo is not lifting till Monday, so we'll talk about that on Monday. We obviously played that beta. We kind of know what Frostpunk 2 is going to be like from Frostpunk 1, etc. And there was a second game called The Altars. It was actually the first game we played. Which they put out a trailer for like 2 months ago. Yeah, 2 months ago. And it was definitely one of those like, what the fuck is going on, right? This was the trailer, just to like put everything in context, and then we can actually start answering questions about what the fuck is going on in this trailer. So, let's get the context. It's from the Frostpunk and War of Mine creators. Loved it.
What if you could change the decisions you regret in your life and see the outcomes of those choices with your very own eyes? The Altars tells the story of Jan Dolsky, a simple miner who survived a crash landing on a hostile planet. He quickly realizes that what was supposed to be a lifetime job opportunity turns into a desperate fight for his life. Jan will need to handle a large mobile base that's designed to be operated by an entire team of qualified personnel. Even worse, the planet Jan landed on revolves around the deadly scorching star. Escaping the sunrise is crucial for survival. Despite his best efforts, Jan simply lacks the time and skills to deal with all these problems on his own. But the planet Jan is stranded on is home to a mysterious substance called rubidium. With its use and the help of the quantum computer on board, Jan is able to create alternative versions of himself. The Altars. Each one of them is a result of altering a crucial decision from Jan's past. The Altars are a reflection of the questions he asks himself. What if I never left my hometown? What if I didn't drop out of college? What if I fought harder to save my marriage? Our Altars have the necessary knowledge and skills that we desperately need to succeed. But they also come with their own goals, ambitions, and fears, all derived from their different life paths. And that can generate problems.
Stop pretending you have any idea how I feel.
Incompetence, incoherent decision-making, a groundbreaking mission on the verge of failure.
Damn, I just hope I don't f*** everything up again.
You want a relationship that lasts. Put some effort in it.
Each Jan is a different person. It will be extremely difficult to keep everyone happy.
You gotta learn how to say no sometimes.
But we must do whatever we can, because as the mission goes on, the challenges will only pile up. Obstacles on the outside, internal tensions that could prove to be even more dangerous. And with a ticking clock of the deathly sun behind our backs, the only way home is to press forward.
All by myself. All right. So that is the Altars. So up until we got to the event, nobody, except for obviously the employees of 11-bit, knew anything about this game. All right, this is all we knew about the game. This is all everyone knows about the game until 3 hours ago. Very like the vibes I got from watching it were like Returnal, Death Stranding, right? What the hell's going on? Like, what's the actual gameplay loop? Like, I don't know. So we got there, and we got to play it for about 2.5, 3 hours. From the very beginning. So they didn't, like, plop us into the middle of, you know, like halfway through the campaign or something. It was from the very beginning. So we weren't allowed to record our own footage, unfortunately. Hopefully for, like, a future event, which I get invited to, hopefully. They, you know, reconsider that kind of stuff. But we did get a nice amount of B-roll footage, which is just essentially that file I opened, which is, like, just an hour of, you know, more or less, like, the gameplay experience that everyone had since, I mean, it is a story-driven game. It's not completely on rails. Like, there are a fair few decisions you have to make. Genre of the game, I don't really know, because it's definitely a mash of a lot of genres. I guess for the people that have played War of Mine, it's probably got a lot of similarities to that. So the idea is basically, as the trailer said, you're a guy named Jan. You're like a researcher, miner kind of thing that just took this job. You crash land on a hostile planet, and you need to survive. Oh, by the way, there are going to be minor story spoilers in this. So if you literally want to know nothing about it, I probably wouldn't tune in. Because I will talk about what we played. Upon your landing, your entire crew is dead. You find that big mobile base, that wheel, and you can't man it without more people. You find a super duper substance called rapidium, not rubidium, rapidium, like rapid. And it allows you to essentially make clones of yourselves, but they're not really clones. So what you do is you essentially make an alternate version of yourself of what that person would have been had a major decision in your life been different. So, like, if you didn't drop out of college, you make Jan number 2. And he has his own series of events that happen in his own life. What happens if you and your wife didn't split up? Jan number 3. You can choose which Jans. They all have, we'll go through it. They all have, like, different, like, passives for your base. So there's that kind of, like, you can already see that, like, moral situation, like, brimming in your base with the different versions of yourself, etc. Other genres include, you do explore the planet's surface. You do need to, like, mine for minerals. You do need to get organics for food. You can't, you know, there's like a night-day mechanic. You can't be outside during the night because radiation levels and all that kind of stuff. There is a radiation mechanic. There's a rest mechanic to see how many hours you can actually efficiently work. There is a base building mechanic and base maintenance mechanic in terms of that. I'll show you. It's hard to describe without pictures. In terms of, like, the kind of room modules you put in. There's obviously the heavy story mechanic. There is some, like, RPG mechanic with which versions of yourself you want to make, because they can give you different passive perks. So there's just a whole mess of genres kind of, like, put together in what, in my experience at least so far, was like a pretty interesting and cool thing. Better I show you than just keep talking about it. Was it the best game I ever played in my life? No. I would say the major criticism I had at the beginning was, and a bunch of other people had that I talked to, was it started a little slow, for sure. It took a while to get to, like, the juicy stuff. In terms, like, not necessarily the crux of the story, because that in general, you can already see stuff brewing. I think the biggest criticism was, like, it took a little too long to introduce you to all the systems. Now, you guys won't really get that sensation because I'm talking about it. We'll speed through what needs to be sped through. But yeah, like, they kind of drip, like, system introduction onto you, which is cool, but sometimes a little too slow, that you feel like you're almost doing an extended tutorial for, like, 2 hours, an hour and a half kind of thing. But yeah, XR, what's up, dude? So, that being said, now that we kind of have, like, an overview of what's going on with the game, we'll watch this B-roll footage. It's an hour long, and I'm just gonna like live comment through it. We'll pause, we'll discuss, and the best part of doing this live is that if you guys have questions, especially about what you saw or like how things felt, or even right now if you have a question, I can easily answer it, right? Assuming I know the answer to it. So, there is no Baldy on. Any questions before we start? The B-roll footage. Did I miss it? No, we're literally just about to start. I was giving a little overview blurb about it and eating this elusive piece of roast beef. What is the altars? You're about to find out. Can Ron romance himself? Who the hell is Ron? You mean Jan? Jan? Warsaw was great. If you go to the beginning of Monday's VOD, I talked about the trip in detail with pictures for like 3 hours. And if you want to see me walking around through Poland in our first IRL stream, it's on our main YouTube channel. Italian, if you're curious. The negatives the characters get, are they impactful? I don't think I got to a point in the game where they were impactful enough. But knowing them, knowing Frostpunk, knowing what people have said about this war of mine, the answer is yes. Like, they definitely will be. No, the wheel is a wheel. Okay, let's get into it. Since we have Demus style questions coming up, which are not very important. AKA French questions.
How did I end up here?
So this is literally the intro of the game. This is not like a trailer.
My whole life, all its ups and downs, led me to this place. Far from home, far from anyone I know.
One thing I want to say, by the way, because I know someone's going to say it, because I said the same thing, I even asked them about it. It is not literally the world's best graphics. All right, so before you were like, this isn't like Hellblade 2 and Horizon levels of mocap for facial animations and stuff. No, it's not, because they're not a AAA studio, right? They're AA and stuff, so yeah, just either, get over it or don't like it, but it is what it is. Like, that's just the way it is. It's not going to be, like, insane mocap. Like, you will notice it's very generic, like, facial animations for talking and stuff.
A journey.
Now, my understanding also is it's something they're still working on, but they're also like, listen, man, we just don't have like a fucking $1 trillion budget, right? Like, it just is what it is.
This route is unknown, and the destination out of sight. Was this path just a random sequence?
Oh, it's totally Milo.
That I had to follow? Or was there ever another way? Now, heading for the unknown. I can't really tell. Is this the end of the road? Or is it yet another branching?
So, like, right away, obviously, like, Returnal vibes, right? Like, in the environment, the atmosphere.
Figure out what happened.
You can play mouse or keyboard. They're both totally fun. I was playing mouse keyboard. The girl next to me was playing with controller. And it looked like it was no problems. In fact, I believe this, I was going to say this preview itself is controller, so there you go. So, overall, visually, like, nice looking game, right? So, don't let me detract from that. It was more so like you'll see, obviously, when you're face-to-face talking with one of the other alternates, like, yeah, it's gonna be some rigid facial animations. The game overall is very pretty. Well, as pretty as a, you know, dead, desolate planet can be. It's definitely a pretty game. So you start out in the intro, you do kind of like a little tutorial thing.
Emergency flare for
You're
my
looking
capsule.
around for the rest of your crew. Spoilers, they're dead. Excited to see this game. It's very interesting.
This is Jan Dolsky.
Bro, what the fuck? Sorry, I spoiled the
safely, but
beginning of the game.
I think my capsule went astray.
Fast forward through this a bit. You'll lose. Oh, actually, you know what? I'll leave it so you guys can see it. Just because I've seen it. Doesn't even need to fast forward. We'll just watch the full hour together. I'll pause a bit here and there, though, for sure. So there's no jumping in the game. There's just like the usual ledge interaction, things like that. Come to a ledge, you can press shift or space and figure out what it was to go down. A on the controller, or climb up. There's some bigger ridges you can't climb up without like a tool later, you'll see. Like definitely like a cool atmosphere for a game, you know? Like definitely sets the tone early on. You guys also like an Olympian, you can sprint in that suit. It's on his business.
The captain. Shit.
Oh, there's the captain.
Deceased.
They're dead, by the way.
What the hell? Not much I can do for her now. Oh, I gotta find the others.
I suppose nice looking is better than the word pretty, since it's not exactly the prettiest planet.
What happened? Shipping crash. The capsule's intact.
So already they start like building a bit
Looks
of
like she
mystery.
died inside of it. I don't get it.
The crew's just kind of like dead, but it doesn't look like anything actually killed them. They just died in their pod. So question mark. And for what it's worth, I was nowhere near playing the entire game, so I myself, as far as I know, I'm very early in the story. So all this like question mark for me is still literally a question mark.
Mobile base. There it is.
Yes, of
Dolsky
course,
here.
bud.
Anyone copy? If you can hear me, I've located the base. And try and get down there. Maybe they landed closer to the drop-off point. I've got to keep moving. The capsules.
Oh, okay. Perfect. So they skip through the video a bit. So you run down the hill, you see the rest of the capsules. Spoilers, Italian, they're dead.
That's impossible. They can't all be. Why? Makes no sense.
So, weird, everyone's dead. But they're like in their capsules.
Radiation wave? Now? Oh shit. It's rising fast. Gotta get to the base.
So because you're avoiding the sun in the game, or the star rather, radiation's like a major mechanic in the game. So at least for the tutorial right now, like you can see the water going crazy. It like spikes and you need to get to the safety of your base, and you're not allowed to go out. I'll show you later the mechanic. You're not allowed to, hold on, actually I just realized. Camera's probably not in the best spot for this. Let's go to the bottom right. You can't go out like during the night because there's too much radiation and stuff. So you gotta run to your base. Oh no, pan the camera to the left. Please, video game player. Here. I'm gonna show you the water. Anyway, the water's really cool looking. It's all like going crazy. You died at this point? I don't know. I didn't try.
Come on. Come on. That was close.
So you make it safely to your base. Whilst on... So you get to your base. You are... Obviously, you don't get booted out right away. You're able to kind of walk around and do some stuff. Maybe top right, actually. Sorry, I lent you. You're able to walk around and do some... Nope. Maybe top left. You're able to walk around the base, do some stuff. You get introduced to it. There's like a... I don't know if they'll show it later because they skipped it. So in the... Actually, this is a good opportunity to do this. So this is what your base kind of looks like from the building menu. This is something you do interact with prior to going back out. So not all of these rooms are there when you first start. You build these, and you build these by getting materials out in the, not like fully open world, it's like semi-open. It's like open zones, let's put it that way. And a lot of these modules have obviously different interactions. Like the gym, social room, these are rooms that you build later. These don't exist right off the bat. There's a smaller amount of rooms. The base itself, not only does it take materials to construct each room, but you can also upgrade the tier of your base up to like 4, I think it was. I don't think anybody got a single upgrade because it just takes a while, which presumably I would assume increases the size somehow of the base. And certain modules have to connect to each other on the side, and vertically you can build, you need these elevators here, which is pretty seamless transition within the base. So there's a bunch of different rooms here that I'm not going to go through all right now. Some are self-explanatory, like airlocks where you go in and out of the base. Kitchens, obviously, like you need meals. You and your homies consume 1 meal a day. There's a bunch of different, you can see cooked meals at the bottom, much as like the shit version of food. There's a bunch of different materials that you get out on the planet's surface, which we're about to see in a second. I just wanted to bring this up first to kind of give you an idea of what's going on. There was also, like to kind of get the story going, you go to this communications room here. Command center is where you like build modules and stuff. This is where you go to rest and pass time. They all have their own thing. We'll get the womb's important too. We'll talk about that in a bit. The communication room is one of like the first rooms you go to when you go upstairs, and you have a very like for those of us who have played Control, you have a very Control style interaction. So you get a call from like an unknown caller, and their voice is all like distorted like that and shit. And it's all like mysterious, and they're like half the words you can make out, and you know, it's like all they care about is you like finding rupidium, and you're like, what the hell is going on? What do I do? You know, things like that. So there is like a story arc that starts with like mysterious dude or person at communication room. Once they're done fucking around, there is a storage. So there's a cap on how much stuff you can have, and it's based on these storages that you can build more of if you'd like to expand your storage. You can see it at the bottom here, 60. So whatever you get out in the world, you don't have, from what I remember, you don't have a personal storage on your character, but you do have like the overall storage of the base kind of thing. All right. So that being said, once you're done messing around, the first time you ever see this, you eventually go back out on the planet's surface, because that's when the gameplay loop starts to teach you about like, just looking at the other screenshots, that's when the gameplay loop starts to teach you about like, hey, you know, your first task is to build like this module. I think it's the womb you have to build first, or the workshop, one of the two. You need this first, so you need to get some metals for it, metals and minerals. So you need to go out on the planet's surface and mine them. So that's your first like tutorial of going out on the planet's surface, which is what they're about to do right now. You can see in the bottom left also there's like night day mechanic, or like time mechanic, that pink bars the amount of time you can efficiently work, which you'll see when you start like drilling some of the materials out here. And the kind of striated or lined bar, the diagonal lined bar, is when you're exhausted. So you can still work at that point, but you work like at 25% speed or something. And if that runs out, you pass out. And you wake up the next day, or, well, you die. Like, but, you know, the game doesn't end there. You just pass out till the next day, and there's like a penalty on your rested stuff the next day. Radiation meter here. Obviously, if that reaches full, you get in trouble. The energy stuff I'll explain a bit later as we see it, but yeah, cool. You can name them all causes if you want to, sure.
That shiny rock might be a source of metals.
So you can see when you're mining, time gets sped up, so you don't like literally sit there staring at your computer for what would be the equivalent of, I forget how many seconds was 1 minute in the game, like 3 to 5, something like that. So you're not actually sitting there watching it slowly go. But as a result, as you saw, it does accelerate the time that goes on at the bottom, like very rapidly. Also, there's not like, at least to the point we got in the game, there's not like multiple types of metals. There's not like copper and titanium. It's just metals. It's just organics and so on. Well, you are on a hostile alien planet. That's rather rocky and gray, but once you're in the base, it's different. Okay. So time is going fast now. So they're just skipping through. So this is on the same starting area here. I hope they show it a bit later, but do they have one here? There is a map, like an interactable 3D map, which is not revealed until you explore parts of it. Like, parts are hidden, not Fog of War style. They're literally like, think like Elden Ring, you know? All you see of Elden Ring is a pocket, and as you expand past the borders of that pocket, the map expands as well. So it's kind of similar here. But there are clearly like, oh, there's a path going on into nothingness there, so I'm going to go there. So you do explore the map a bit. So there is some, like, option of exploring to try and find more materials and stuff like that, or not. In this first sequence of the game, you have like 6 days in this area until the star catches this and you die because of like the intense radiation and stuff. It wasn't like hugely pressured for what it's worth. Like I think I got out of there in like day 2 or 3, so you have more than enough time to comfortably like explore, do what you want to do. It's not like a go, 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 go. There's no difficulty setting for the game either. When we played it, there's no hard, easy, medium mode. It was just play the game. And I don't think they're planning on adding one from when I talked to them. So this is just a fast forward to them exploring in the same area. So it just cuts out some of that running around. And this is going to be the first time they find rupidium, which is that like super duper important material. So Spider Dude. Oh, Rican.
What the hell? Could this be rupidium? I feel strange. I have to get closer. Make sure. I need to collect a sample.
So I had one tiny gripe here. It was really friggin' hard to see where you were actually supposed to mine, because there's all these glowing pillars. So in my mind, I'm like, oh, there's like a bunch of deposits. No, there's like only one deposit in one of the light pillars. So hope they make that a little more obvious next time. Like, the only reason you find it is because this tooltip pops up as you're running around. But like, that doesn't look much different from the one on the left if you get close to that one, you know? Yes, please stop. So after mining that, you see like the time in the bottom left. Like, you rapidly run out of that time at the beginning.
Believe me. So the useless quantum nav system isn't that useless after all. It knew where it was sending us. Except... organics here.
So this is the other like essential resource essentially. So you got metals, you got rupidium, and you got organics, which you make into food and stuff. And again, at least up to the point we played, metals were always that kind of red, glowy, rocky area, and organics were denoted by this kind of blue smoke rising. And minerals were easy; you just went and drilled them for the most part. There are some underground minerals later we'll talk about, which hopefully they show. But this is underground, so they have this like little. Well, hopefully they show it. They have this little like kind of mini game mechanic system, because within this entire area, you have to find the deepest part of the deposit in order to set up a base and mine that out. So hopefully they show the mechanic for that. Yeah, there you go. Scanning. So you set up these like pylons on the ground that essentially scan the underground, and in that underground you can see like the depth of the area, and based on that you're trying to find. These are not. Those pylons you put down are reusable, so you don't have to like keep crafting them or anything. So you're essentially trying to find the deepest part of the deposit, and then you set up like a mobile mining base there. Yes, Laura Yellow. So they didn't find the right one, so you can press a button to recall all your pylons. And you can see that the slope was going downwards in this direction, so they're going to guess on the next direction. Later on, you get some systems and abilities to help you locate it faster rather than just YOLO guessing every time. So they found the deepest part of the deposit, and now you can build a mining outpost here. It's not a survival crafter. Really, rather. So what this is saying is once you build an outpost, you need to power it back to your base. That not only gives it power to run, but it also transfers the materials. So there's no like, the mining outpost is digging up minerals, and once it does, you have to go back and collect them and bring them back to the base. It just auto transfers everything to the base, but you do need to hook it up with pylons to the base. The pylons also have like a pretty meaty radius, and within that radius, they'll affect any other structures you build nearby. And it was not a pain in the ass system, by the way. It wasn't like you had to like build 80 of these and do it constantly. You do it like once, maybe twice per zone, and they're fairly lenient with like how far apart you can put them and all that kind of stuff. And it tells you like the distance remaining. It'll show you a green line. Like it wasn't clunky or buggy. It'll show you a green line when it's still properly connected. It doesn't allow cheesing like through walls and stuff from what I saw. So like you do have to kind of, if you're going around a wall, you do have to build pylon and like kind of a right angle or whatever. And you have a certain amount of pylons. Now these pylons you can build more of later, and we'll probably need to, because as you get to new regions, some of the regions are bigger and you'll need multiple deposits, etc. This is still kind of like the tutorial zone, you know? If you guys have questions, by the way, feel free to fire. I'll answer what I can, as you see.
I still can't believe it. If it really is repeated.
So you can see they're pretty lenient with the pylons.
I need to report it.
It's a little sad. Once you get close enough, it should auto snap. There you go. And you're done. Once you set up, as you can see here, once you set up a mining outpost and other smaller outposts, you can fast travel between them and your base, which is very nice. So you're not stuck wasting your precious like active work time running back and forth. So the game very early on is very nice about travel time once you establish your first bases in each region, each zone. Is there an altar that's bald? I mean, you can make any of them bald with clippers. And you have, your little missions and stuff in the top right, obviously. I didn't mention that earlier, but as you can see. Yeah, Q3-ish, I think is what they're aiming, Brent. They don't want to put it too close to their other launches, aka Frostpunk, in July. Okay, so you're back on the ship. Okay, so this is, there you go. So this is what the ship looks like at the very beginning. So unlike that picture I showed you a moment ago, this is obviously the starter base, so it's much less developed. So I don't know which part of the quest they're doing now. It's probably to build more modules. So this is the command center, and this is where you can build more modules. So this is the module building system, and these are the modules you can build at least early on. And one of the first things the game asks you to do is build a workshop, build the womb, and then elevators allow you to stacking elevators. Elevators were the only building that you were allowed to attach vertically, and then from the sides of elevators you were allowed to attach horizontal modules. So you can kind of build however you want. You're obviously a little restricted on space at the beginning though. And then you can see each module took some metals to build. So yeah, he can't build there. See? Like they're showing that you can't build there. So what you need to do is you need to take these elevators and expand them downwards so that you can open up building on the bottom. There you go. So elevators you can build vertical or horizontal, but the modules only horizontal. So there you go. So they built the womb, which we'll talk about a bit later.
Okay, so I have built a womb. Now,
the voice actor for this is Alex Jordan. I partied with him in Warsaw. Great guy. He did the voice acting for all the characters, obviously, because they're all versions of himself. Moving modules is a good question. I didn't find a way how, and I kind of forgot to ask, but I can literally just shoot a DM and ask. So I'm not 100% sure. But there didn't seem to be an obvious way to do it at the beginning.
DNA sample. Idiom. I'm starting to worry this wasn't such a good...
So what happens is you collect that rapidium, that like super substance, the crazy looking one, and that is your main basically your main material that you use to start making your alternate versions, which is what this intro scene is right now. He's making his first one. Now the first one, because it was kind of tutorial mode, you didn't really have a choice on which alternate to make, because all the alternates were kind of like a style. You have like the sciencey guy, and you have like the engineer guy, and you have the handsome bald guy who was playing the video game, and so on. The first one, which is something that I said was one of my criticisms, is like the introductory experience was a little slow. So it was a little on rails for a little too long. So I would have loved if the first one was something you could choose from any of them, or any of the first available ones, instead of you always have to choose like the engineer guy first. Maybe something will change. I was not the only one that gave that feedback, by the way, so hopefully it's something I take. Oh wait, that's the sheep. I lied. This is the tutorial. After the sheep, you make the dude.
Oh, cool.
Rapidium's HR? Yeah.
What else?
It's called Dolly. This is what the crazy voice tells you to do first. They make you... Wait, what happened? They make you test with Rapidium on the sheep.
Molly.
Or Molly, whatever. Play on Dolly. And then you're like,
Hello,
it worked,
Molly.
it worked. And they're like, okay, now try it on yourself, because you can't handle the base alone, so you need more people. You can see that little calling symbol in the bottom left of the screen. Also, he's about to run out of energy, so he needs to sleep. So he slept. As you can see, he just woke up from bed. They didn't show it. Hopefully they do it later. But there's like an actually... There's like a little meter mechanic that comes up, and you can choose the amount of hours you want to rest, and based on the amount of hours you rest, it'll tell you how much rested time you have the next day for like that efficient work time. Usually the more you rest, the better. But it's like a kind of penalty, like not in some ways too dissimilar. If you've played like Stardew, you know, if you go to Stardew too late, you wake up the next day not with full energy. Kind of the same thing here. So if you stay up too late in like the diagonal striated region of your energy, you can suffer for it the next day.
Fuel shortages are detected. The evacuation procedure.
There's the map, finally. And you can fast travel to your outpost right away now, if you want. Now keep in mind, this mining outpost is not producing materials passively. Somebody needs to manually handle it. You can see where this is starting to go with the altars. So this is not an automatic mining thing. You have to do it. But once you get more people, maybe you can ask someone else to do it. We can't target. See the organics going up at the bottom of the screen, and the time is rapidly going down because you spent a lot of it just harvesting materials. So he's basically pissed away 2/3 of his day, but there's nothing else to do right now in this tutorial. So you do that, you can fast travel back. Now, except for having rested time, a proper amount of rested time the next day, and working like extremely slower at things like that, where you have to sit there and hold F or press F, whatever. There is no penalty to running around in your tired state in the diagonal region. So you don't have to go to bed during that. Like, you can still go back to the base and do any, like, social interaction and stuff during that. That's not going to be penalized. Penal.
What is this? Mine records.
So once the mysterious voice is like, oh, good, you cloned the sheep. Go try cloning a human being, and then he snoops around the captain's log, the captain, of course, being dead, as we found out at the beginning of the game, in their draw pod. You find out that the company somehow has mined records of all of the employees. So that's where you can start being like, what the fuck is going on? How did they get that? So this is the first intro to the memories mechanic, where you, like, split from and stuff.
What's going on? Wait. I recognize this.
Anything inappropriate for kids? I mean, there's no nudity, and I didn't see too much violence or anything. But there are, like, pretty adult themes in the game. Like, a lot of this memory stuff deals with, like, abusive father, dying mother, like, things like that. So, nothing, like, graphically explicit, but, you know, they'll probably show some of this stuff, right? So this is basically... Let me go back, like, just a moment. So this is basically your current character's memory lifeline up to this point. He's, like, in his mid-30s or something. So from your, like, early childhood up to here, these are all different major things that happened in your life. Just like your current memory line, however you want to say it. You can see there's quantum slots down in the bottom left, and I'll explain that a bit later. So it's all, like, obviously very edgy, like, shit. Looks like they're gonna stream through. So, like, growing up, a family like many other down there, your father coming late from work in the mine, usually drunk, pissed off, your mother doing her best to keep the family together, your constant desire to run away, to get out of that place and never come back. I won't read through all of these, but, you know, you kind of get the idea. It's meant to be heavy moral things, so they're not going to go through all of them anyways. Meeting Lena, that's, like, ends up being your wife. Your heart pounds at the thought of this evening. You never thought someone like Lena would want to hang out with you. Slow down, it's only a project. Maybe you should have gotten something better than beer. You could have brought wine. But wouldn't that seem like you're hitting on her? You're only teaming up for a project. She's so different from anyone else you ever hooked up with, and she likes you. You can see she likes you. It was a tough conversation, but you handled it well. The professor understood your motives. Working for a private company gives you a better prospect, and you'll finally be able to move out of that dorm, take Lena for a proper holiday. Yeah, it was a good decision. You drop out of school. Losing Lena. You took down another bottle.
Another squad.
My man Chenkov, brother.
I'm ready, sir. Ready, sir.
Thank you for the 37, man. Good to see you.
I'm ready too, sir.
You took down another bottle, and the wedding ring she gave back to you. A job at Ally Corp. Freedom, finally. She's got it. A new, better life without you. All you could ever do is hold her down. Look at yourself, drowning your sorrows in a bar. You're everything you promised yourself you'd never be. Where the hell did you fuck it all up? And this is like right before you end up where you are. You enter the spaceship with a tingling anxiety and excitement. You're going to space, far away from here, just like you always wanted, far away from your problems. You'll think about them later, or maybe they'll be gone by the time you get back. Did you record this as B-roll footage that they gave us? But this is more or less everyone's like first experience when we played
What
it.
for?
So this is the mysterious calling area that I mentioned. Is a little control style.
Hey, I checked the quantum computer.
At least that's the vibe it gave me.
What the fuck? Mind records? What the hell are you doing with that data? It's got everything. My whole life exposed.
Oops.
No, I want answers.
Is this Subnautica in space? Not even close.
Shit.
But I mean, yeah.
What do you want with it? Branching? What exactly will be branching? What? What? Is that your whole answer?
So this is where the voice is like, oh, you created the sheep. Mr. Cat. You created the sheep, now time to branch yourself. AKA create an alter. Just an alternate version of yourself. Of your
Cloning
life.
a sheep. Branching myself? Altering my life by messing with my own memories? I mean...
Incorrect.
whatever it is
Subtitle.
you want me to do. No way in hell. Give me my other options.
But if I clone Mr. Cat, we'll run out of food.
You jerk. I don't have other options, do I?
So, you don't have another option because you can't You get to a point where you find a two-man job because something on the base breaks, right? Like, one of your quests is to move the base because you got to keep moving to avoid the sunrise, otherwise you're dead. But you get to a point where, of course, a two-man job is required, and you're like, oh, well, everyone else is dead, what do I do? And they're like, oh, why don't you just create alternates of yourself? And you're like, okay, why do you have memories of me, my memories and stuff already? So this is the cloning procedure, the alternate branching procedure, rather.
What? What is it doing?
So it essentially searches your memories and finds a spot or spots where
I remember that alternate life path.
where a decision you made in your
So
life,
this is
another
what
decision,
branching is about?
the other decision happens. So this is what I was saying. I wish they would allow you to choose one of multiple, because you can now that you're kind of understanding, right? You can see like there's probably going to be a branch there, right? There's probably going to be a branch there, etc. One here, but for introductory purposes, they only allow you the first one, which is the mechanic guy, which starts to branch out here. Which means that once you create that alternate, everything up to that split point, you have shared memories of, right? But everything after, they're kind of their own person. And as you can see, so you can see where this is starting to go with like some RPG-ish or like very light build mechanics of what you get. So, for instance, at this branch point, which you have to take by default, you get a technician version of yourself because of a choice. I forget which choice it branches out of, but whatever choice is here, they end up becoming a techie life. So then you get 50% efficiency when doing base maintenance. The technician does, right? This will take up one of your 3 quantum slots. So later, right, it's like, oh, well, you can, you have like X options of what branches you want to do. You know, this guy can make food faster, this guy can mine faster, this guy can whatever, but you can only choose like 2, 3, 4 of them, whatever. The quantum slots will increase over time, they said. But you do have choices to make in terms of like what you want to prioritize in terms of building and gathering and refining and all that kind of stuff. And it costs 2 rupidium, as you can see. That little hex thing is rupidium. So this is the intro to the first alternate guy. Overall, no, they didn't tell me, but they said more than 3. This is the title drop. Damn. Which is pretty cool. And all of this branching alternate process, alter process, etc. was done in the womb, like that module that you build in your base called the womb. That's where you deal with that. So now, as you can see, you've created an alter of yourself, branching from that specific memory, because that decision is now the other decision that you didn't make. So the memories here are shared with this new guy. Let's call him the engineer guy. Engineer Jan, I think, or technician Jan he's called. But everything here, where the split decision was made, this is a different person now. I mean, he's you from a DNA perspective, but this is a different person that has had their own memories and their own life and stuff. So they don't share these memories with you anymore. They have their own stuff that happened that you will read through and want to learn about, and affects their personality and stuff like that. Falcon, thanks for the 17, man. Welcome back. So now you can go through their life. So here's the staying at home versus moving away branch. Now as you go, not as big chunks of seconds on the Windows Media Player. So, the branch was here at the staying home versus moving away. So, your character decided to move away and go off. Like, the story is that, like, your father's abusive and your mother's very sick. So you feel guilty for wanting to go to college because you want to be near your mom to take care of her and protect her and stuff. Ultimately, you decide on this branch, your main branch, you decide that you do go to college, you do move away, your mom dies. All this moral emo shit happens. The new guy you created decides to stay at home. So this is what your life would have been like had you stayed at home. Can they also branch? Yes, they can. From what I saw. How does character control work? You are the main character. You do not control the other guys. The other guys are NPCs. You are always the main Jan. You do not assume control of the other guys. Again, as far as I saw. So, these are all, the new guy's experiences, not ones you've had. Becoming a technician, so this is why he's the technician guy. So that's his, forte. And it goes all the way up to... goes all the way up to the same point you're at, but on their life, where ultimately it still leads you to this moment of going on this voyage, crash landing on the planet, etc., etc. Same Project Dolly for both of them at 35. Are you sure you're the main Jan? Well, that's probably going to be one of the moral questions by the end of it. Guys having trouble with this controller. It was not glitchy like that. That was just player input, not... Like, it was very smooth to go up and down the elevator. You just held shift and double your S. So I think they just messed up their controller a bit. So this is the new guy. All the new you.
Hey there. Wow. Hello.
So this is where I said you'll see obviously some rough facial animations compared to like big boy AAA games, but it is what it is.
What is this?
Is that Pedro Pascal? Sure. Why not? He's got a mustache.
Lab inside.
So you can see this mechanic here. This is where this is one feedback I gave as well. Obviously the graphic here is like a little crappy and they're gonna fix that up, they said, but this is where based on your interactions with them, different things happen. So they can get frustrated, anxious, scared, happy, feel good, blah blah blah. So you start to develop this kind of like well, you know, you can see character development here and relationship development, and it's going to obviously help you or cause problems later based on who they are. And as you add more people to the mix, it starts to become a bigger issue. I don't know if they're going to show it. The UI for it, I mean, on purpose, didn't like fully track. Like it wasn't, you know, the UI for like each individual Jan didn't show like you have 10 points of frustration and 9 points of trust, and on purpose they don't want to show that because they want to leave it like they don't want, it's not like a, you know, they don't want to treat it like a math mechanic where you just have to like get the right balance. But it was like a little, they could have improved the UI a bit in that area, let's put it that way. But that's the concept here, is you're going to see a lot of these constantly flashing up during conversation because this is whatever NPCs you're talking to, a reaction to what you're saying. So you directly influence their like feelings and status and whatever.
Your memories might be a bit fuzzy, but relax. You're gonna be okay. Recognize the bass, I think.
Also, the sound's really weird. It didn't sound like this when I played it, so it must just be the recording's a little like that, like echoey or something.
What was that?
Dingy, maybe.
I wanted to laugh, but I'm like...
Sounds like it's like a recording for recording,
I
but
think
yeah. That,
you're on some meds. What for? Panic when you wake up.
oh.
Why
Auntie,
would
you still
I
here?
panic? I'll explain later. Right now, let's check your mental.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to switch camera again, I just remembered.
Do you think you
We're
can...
gonna have to go to the bottom right, dude, sorry.
Introduce yourself.
I think the UI, if your alters are in the top left.
Can you?
We'll see it a bit, though. Bottom right seems safest.
I insist. Right? Jan Dolsky, Senior Technician at Ally Corp, Mining Operations. There. Did I pass? Wow. Amazing. It actually worked. What worked? And who, what the hell are you anyway? This may be hard to process, but my name is Jan Dolsky, too. Yes, it is. Now, you're not bad for an imitation, but what the hell are you? Is this some kind of experiment? Nobody warned me. Bourbon. This is for real.
So,
And I'm for
I definitely did not choose all the same responses in conversation, and it did proc different.
What a screw up.
It did proc like fairly different,
3-year-old would have figured it out.
like emotional reactions from the NPC.
Okay. And In any other case, I'd say don't touch anything here ever again. But unfortunately, this is a two-man job. My sign.
Do you have these combos of all copies? Yeah, one of the major focuses of the game is like social management.
Ready?
It's hard to grasp it early on here, but they all have different feelings towards you, and they all develop different feelings towards other guys and things like that. So like how you manage.
It worked. You did it.
How you manage.
Sir.
Costin, thanks for the big raid. How you manage them and what they do is like an essential part of the gameplay.
Now stay away from me.
See, like, he obviously doesn't like you very much right now. Shocker. So eventually you gather... So the whole point of... the whole point of this, like, that prologue stuff is that you had to gather materials in order to get this mobile base moving because the sun was coming, the star, sunrise, whatever was coming, and you were going to die. So you had X amount of days to do it. You ran into something that required a two-man job. The only way you could do that was by creating an alternate of yourself. You guys fixed it together. He doesn't like you, but you were able to move the ship. So from a gameplay perspective, now what happens is that area that you had before is done. You're gone. It's in the past. So you're moving on now to the next open area filled with new nodes to farm and whatever. To which probably the next question is, well, what about all the shit? Did you just leave it behind? All the materials you needed to craft your base and whatever? No. When you leave, it gives you the option to say, do you want to take all of your stuff with you? The pylons, the mining outpost, whatever. You just say yes. You don't need to go do anything. It auto collects everything for you, and you leave the zone, and you have all your tools with you. So that's nice. So now you go on to the next like level, kind of. I don't think it's randomly generated now. Not 100% sure actually, but I don't think so.
Hey there. I said, don't come near me. Time to get
How's the burning cost?
We need to fix the comms room so we can make it out of here faster. Are you deaf? I don't give a damn about your comms room. We're moving, aren't we? Now get out of my face, creep. You're pissed off at me now, but deep down, we both know you do the same thing.
Really? You said it yourself. We might look alike, but we're different. Like oil and water, if you
Like at
ask
the
me,
market cost?
and they don't mix well.
I know you well enough. I created you.
Wow. Playing God already. I can't believe we have the same DNA. Why don't you get yourself a repair kit and fix your own shit? I'm done doing your dirty work.
It's obviously some rough work with like, there's like some blurriness around the face when moving. It's like all shit they're aware of and they're working on to, and that's the big thing it's up on screen.
Mr. Dolsky. We needed to act.
Now you end up finding a new guy on the comms that isn't that sketchy voice. This is a guy named Lucas, and he's working on like an outpost, like floating above the planet.
You're getting me out of here, right?
Alone, and
You know
he starts
how to do
guiding
it.
you, but
See-
he seems like a little sus
Sure.
too.
First thing I'll need you to do is to transport the base.
So he's
to a
like, we can
safe
save
and
you if you,
accessible
yeah, if you
destination.
transport the base to a safe
I'll
destination.
dispatch the coordinates.
But
to
the
you.
whole time he's like, tell me more about the
Second thing?
Rapidium. Yeah, see, there you go.
Do you think I could see this
Could I see the altar?
altar of yours?
Can you tell me more about the Rapidium? So this guy's like clearly kind of corporate sketchy a little, right? But at least
How do you
he's
know
not
you're not talking
creepy
to
muffled
him right
voice.
now?
You're joking, right?
Who knows?
Yeah. Nice try, but I'd know the difference. The immunosuppressant meds, he wouldn't be in a disposition to mess around.
So, I'm just trying to keep up with what they're doing. So this was your first split here. I guess they're just showing the other guy's memories again. So in this one, you tell your dad to fuck off, and etc., etc. Well, that guy told his dad to fuck off. You spend time with your mom because you didn't go to college. You told your dad to fuck off, but your dad, felt bad and he's trying to like win you back and he's offering you a job as a miner, but you're too proud to take it. Your mom dies again. You become a technician. Well, again, by you I mean the alternate you just made. You boss father figure, etc., etc. Turns out your boss that you were bonding with was a sketchy fucker doing stuff illegally. He gets arrested. You get in trouble. You resort to boozing and ordering pizza. Oh, I just sneeze.
Hey, when you were down, Dad had just stormed out of the house, slamming the door behind him and leaving you
So one of the
crying in your
things you
room.
find out, obviously,
She
with this guy,
asked me to help her make pierogi. Her famous pierogi.
goddamn pierogies. So you need to
Oh my
find a
God,
way,
I
obviously,
could
to start
really
bonding
make
with
out
him
of
because you need
those.
to get along. So what better way to
make
bond
it
other than your
together.
shared memories before the split happened? So they're talking about mom and her pierogies
Why
and
don't
stuff
we
like
go
that.
for it? Why don't we try
Like,
and
hey,
get
let's make
Mom's
pierogies
famous
together and shit.
pierogi? No way we'd find the ingredients here.
Pierogi.
Why not? We got a decent supply of coolant and oil. Yeah, hilarious. I can pull it off. You'll see. But there's one condition. You're eating them with me.
So you got like a bonding moment
You
with
die,
him and stuff like that.
I die. Why not?
Is there a version of you that doesn't get into
Change my
booze? I don't know. I only saw like 2 or 3. Booze and drugs, man. It's just the way life goes. So now you have to go cook meals. So there is a meal mechanic in the game, right? Like I mentioned. Well, it says right there. Actually, perfect. Each person in the base consumes 1 meal per day. Higher quality meals will have a positive effect on the mood of your alters. So if you just feed them mush, which is like the shit food, they'll eat, but they won't be happy about it. If you don't feed them any food, everyone gets hungry and gets pissed off. If you feed them the good stuff, in this case pierogies, and I think you get some other recipes later, then everyone's happier. So you can help control the mood of the homies. So this is you walking around your base. Your base is mostly like a side scroller, but some of the modules have like a bit of depth to them. Like this is the kitchen area.
Here you are, the famous Dulski pierogi with an interstellar twist. What do you think? Oh, now I know how Mom must have felt. That day she had a terrible flu.
Pierogies
and
at the
I
event,
decided
too.
To cheer her up and make pierogi for her. Right. Yeah. I put like a ton of salt into the filling. And I overcooked them into a shapeless pulp.
So they're reminiscing
They were
about
inedible.
memories that they shared pre-split here.
You remember what she did? Uh-huh.
Now they don't hate each other
She ate them
as
all.
much anymore,
Never
or he doesn't, or the
No, she said they were delicious.
tech alternate does not hate the main
Yeah.
character as much
Yeah,
anymore.
you're right.
So they can start being homies.
So, they're delicious, man. Shut the fuck up.
And now you can see here. So now that was kind of like the end of the tutorial part of the, alternate stuff. So now when you go back to the quantum menu because you want to make another dude, right? Use another quantum slot. As you can see now, there's several more branching points that you can go, including branching points. I think Chenkov asked earlier, including branching points from the dude you just created. So it's not always from the main line, which is the bottom one. You can branch from a branch, from a branch, from a branch, and so on. And all of them have their own little, like perks. Like I said, like that guy had 50% refining speed or something in the base, I'm sure they'll hover over some of them here. Yeah, so there you go. Heals alters 8 times faster and cooks food faster. And then there's a shrink version later that I guess they can develop into. Comforts alters in the contemplation room. I never built the contemplation room. I don't know what that is. That's probably a later thing. So here you have 50% efficiency when mining, 50% efficiency when refining enriched materials into metals and organics, 50% efficiency when crafting items in the workshop. Can research new technologies, disciplines, altars.
Yes, Daddy.
100
Ani branch from a branch from that branch after
Excuse me, I'll have
branching
to
from
pause this
that branch
presentation because for new
before
things, Carmen's
branching
hilarious.
from that on a branch.
Okay. 100% efficiency when growing crops in the greenhouse, etc., etc. I still don't understand a fucking word that was just said there. Can you clone your female altar? What female altar? Okay, so he's choosing scientist. I didn't choose scientist. I chose the farmer guy. So I haven't actually seen this one yet. Is it easy for them to dislike you again? We didn't honestly play long enough to develop relationships and stuff very much, so I can't tell you. I pretty much got to this point, explored the next zone a fair bit, built like one more guy, built a couple modules, and then it was time up. But seeing as they did like this War of Mine and Frostpunk, the studio knows how to make like intense moral shit going on. So I can only assume that, I mean, that's meant to be one of the main focuses of the game, is meant to be like social management with everybody, you know what I mean? So likely there's going to be a lot of crap going on and situations where you can't please everybody and somebody, you have to favor one guy or the other, etc. You know? That's a sleep mechanic, so he just slept to recharge a bit. You can see his recharge bar is pretty low, so he must have not slept very long or went to bed really late. This is the new zone. It's already pre-explored a bit. Now, I just want to mention, so like when you first zone into this area, this is basically where I got up to as well. You can only see like up to here. The rest you have to run out and explore, and the map gets revealed. This yellow area, this yellow mining deposit in the bottom left, it's like an enriched. It was like I think it was enriched. It was like a special mining. Oh god, dude, so much peeling. It was like a special mining area that had, I think, enriched minerals instead of enriched metals instead of just metals. But the shtick there is, since it's yellow, is that that area has radiation. So you can sit there and mine, and it's very efficient and good mining and has the enriched minerals, but you gradually build up radiation while you do it. You can get rid of radiation in your base. There's a mechanic. Hopefully they'll show it later. It's something you already get introduced to at this point, so I don't know if they'll show it or not, so I'll just tell you. You basically start with these like power cells, and you can use those power cells in your base to basically put up a radiation shield, which prevents radiation from hitting your base, but also decreases everybody's radiation meter, that yellow meter in the bottom left of the screen that you saw in the UI. But the batteries deplete, so then you have to build more batteries, which means you need, you know, metals and organics and stuff. So there's like a radiation mechanic to handle, that you can handle, rather. It's not like a perma thing. Yeah, you can see the radiation. It's like at half on this guy right now. So he's already kind of, this whole connection stuff that you see here, he's already done, of course, just like you saw in the beginning area. So he's going to attach another pylon now, closer to one of the other mining areas. So he's running, yeah, so there's the yellow one that I showed you on the map. So this is the radiation one. I don't know if they're going to, yeah, enriched metals. I don't know if they're going to play around with it now or not, but you'll see that it'll get all like radioactive when he runs by. There you go. So they don't want to use that. It's the same thing I did. I ran past this. I didn't want to deal with this yet. Technician calls you. He wants to talk. So he just goes to this other underground deposit, and just like before, oh, he already found it. Okay. Just like before, you would search the ground here, look for the deepest part of it. Now they do introduce you to another mechanic. They do introduce you to another mechanic that allows you to essentially, like before it was reveal the ground, search again, eventually you find it, you build. There's another mechanic, which is like the bars on the back of his backpack, or the bars in the bottom left of the screen next to the radiation. And I think it's going to be used for other things too. It's basically like a charge on your suit, and you can use that charge once you reveal one of the grounds to emit a pulse, and that pulse will travel in the direction of where the deepest point is, so you can build your mining outpost there. I have a feeling it's going to be used for more things than just that. But yeah, and this is where Alentia is going to hate me. This is where we're going to switch my cam to the bottom right so that you guys can see what the UI looks like for the homies that you have. So you can see his radiation, the fact that he wants to talk to you, what his specialization is, the tech symbol, etc., etc. So anyway, so he just built a mining deposit here. So he's going to want to connect the pylons to the rest of the network here. Are there time limits on zones? Yeah, the first zone had like it was a pretty copious time limit. It was like 6 days, but there are time limits on zones because the concept of the game is you're trying to outpace the sunrise or you die. So I don't think they have like, or not yet at least, like a sandbox mode. I don't know if they're going to come up with that. That's actually another question I asked them, but it would be interesting to know. So there you go. So you can connect his pylons. That other pylons, that area over there in the distance is an organics. That's like one of the first things you build. So you don't have to. You build whatever the fuck you want. But so you grab the organics, and now he has a mining outpost too, and he's come back to the base. Again, keep in mind you can fast travel from any of your outposts to the base and back. I don't know what the hell he just built. I've never seen that in my life. The workshop is where you build, well, just tools and stuff, as you can see. Repair kit, there's the radiation filter I was talking about. Those are those like power cells that decrease radiation in the base and on the people in the base. Mining outposts, because you only have one, you need to build more later, etc., etc. And these take enriched minerals instead of enriched metals instead of basic ones. And this, like everything else in the game, like most other things in the game rather, takes time and manpower to build. So you queue these up, as you can see on the right side of the screen, much like you would queue up in any survival crafter. You queue up, like, I don't know, 5 metal spears to build, but they don't build automatically. Someone needs to be there pressing F, or you assign one of the altars to do it, right? So you can see where, like, the base management starts to come in. You got to cook food. There's a bunch of shit I didn't see either, right? But there's like a farm. You got to cook food. Somebody's got to drill outside. Somebody's got to get you metal. Somebody's got to get you organics. Somebody's got to process this stuff. So there's a lot of stuff to do. You can do it, yes, but every time you do it, it consumes your time, right? Like your work time. So you want to assign different people and prioritize different things based on what you're trying to do, and maybe based on some of the specializations you chose as well in your branching. So he's making some stuff here. They're queued up. It takes 1 hour of in-game time to build that, and now he's tired, as you can see in the bottom left, which means he can still work at any of the stations and do whatever, but it's like way slower. Like, I tried it one time, it was like 75% speed reduction or something. So this guy wanted to talk to you.
Whoa, you look tired, man. Everything okay? I don't know. Maybe it's got something to do with sleeping on the floor? Oh, I hadn't thought of that. Of course not. You have your cozy captain's bed. All right. No need to be so dramatic about it. I'll get you a proper dorm.
So, obviously, this guy's a little pissed because he has to sleep on the floor. So, can you build me a dorm, please? So then you get a side quest. You don't have to do it, but you get a side task of building a dormitory for them. Remember, he made the new homie, the scientist. I haven't actually seen this guy. I didn't make this guy. So he has the scientist homie now. So now there's 2 altars of the 3 slots that he has. Like I said, those slots do increase.
Well, I'll be damned.
I mean, I offered them for them to sleep in bed with me, but they didn't want to.
Okay. Especially considering what I'm seeing. Clearly.
Just takes off his glasses.
Do you, remember your name? What? I think you know perfectly well who I am.
Oh, the first guy's been... What do you mean? The first guy was the tech.
How much did you find? How much rupidium is there? Did we get a breakthrough?
So I would say this guy's smarter because he's a fucking nerd. Because he's wearing glasses.
Yeah, you bet. There's a lot of it. That's good. How do you know? Oh. Isn't it obvious? Being someone who looks and sounds like me, which has to mean we share the same DNA. Then there's the glasses. What about them? Probably just manufactured to make me feel more like myself, but completely unnecessary.
I haven't seen this before.
Because
I didn't choose this guy
with perfectly good
as my
eyesight.
second dude.
Which
can only lead to one conclusion. Created to replicate someone who doesn't wear glasses. You. To do that, of course,
Bro, you need the
to have found
nerds.
Rapidium. I can see no other explanation for a sheep inside a space base. Correct me if I'm wrong. You're right. That's impressive. I did create you out of my DNA. Of course. I can see you're not as quick to process information. And that's the interesting part. Our bodies are the same, but our minds are not. I needed a scientist on board. There's always a scientist on board. So, what went wrong? The old crew is gone. They're all dead. That's why I needed to alter myself.
Let's see how much time's left in the video to know like what else they're going to show.
With
At least roughly what else they're
use
going to
of
show.
the quantum computer on board and something called mind records.
Okay, so you build more shit. So you can build a greenhouse research lab. They probably all want different things. Wait, did you fuck up his build? Oh, there you go. You can move modules, whoever asked earlier. I didn't know you could do this. Okay, so you can move your modules apparently whenever you want. You can see in the top left it says add new modules, but there's also an expand to base option. So I assume that, like I said, like increases the wheel size or whatever. So yeah, so it looks like you can just freely move your modules as you'd like, which is very nice. So you made room for, what the hell is he building? I didn't see what he's building. Something. Oh, the dorm. Okay. So now they're happy. They have somewhere to sleep. I don't know what the hell this item was because I never built it. It's a drill cartridge. Oh, it's for this. Yeah, there were some rocks that you couldn't get through, and he's like, we need a drill cartridge for it. So there you go. Now it opened up more of the map. I never explored this part of the map in the playtime we had. So this is all newish area to me. Now, the reason, from a lore perspective, why you stopped in this area is there's a massive, I think they're about to show it.
Okay.
There you go.
This is not good.
There's a massive lava river that your base can't go past, so you're here trying to figure out how the fuck to do this.
We are surrounded. Damn it. So much for plan B.
Pretty cool though, like the atmosphere is very nice looking, like looks really neat. It's a pretty game, just the character animations are definitely a little rough. Definitely not AAA quality there. Not that they will be, but everything looks nice otherwise. So it looks like 1 minute of in-game time is 2 seconds of IRL time. About. That looks good.
Results. Must be some kind of anomaly.
I haven't seen this before.
My radiation sensors reacted to it.
Well, so this anomaly detector, this is a new mechanic to me, by the way. Some places on the planet are covered in dangerous radiation anomalies. You can use an anomaly detector to reveal them temporarily. Hold, blah, blah, blah. Place it on the ground to discover anomalies nearby. Okay, well, apparently there's anomalies in the game, too. So I guess you gotta have to follow the trail of them, looks like. So you got tired halfway through that, or 3/4 of the way through that. And it looked like you could recall those things as well. Also, storage is overcapped. I never overcapped mine, so I don't know what happens. Looks like you can overcap it in some ways. Must have some kind of penalty, though. Surely. Surely. Kind of sucks heroes at night. Yeah, I mean, like, the biome of the game is alien dark planet because you're avoiding the sun, so the contrast to the dreary planet is basically meant to be in your base, right, with the different modules and the farming area and the like there's a lot of different modules you can build, so that's meant to be your, at least for me it was, the visual relief of constant dreary dark lava everywhere kind of thing was your base. So here you can see what I explained earlier, the assignment tasks area. So of the stuff you've built, you can put different dudes in different areas to do different things. The dudes themselves, of course, have specializations for what they can do. And they have their own amount of, like, you know, rested time. And then on the right side, you could see it gives you, also behind my cam, it says work hours standard is 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. But it says end of work hours predicted. So it would say, like, if you were going to assign this guy here, you can expect that by the end of day at 9 p.m., you're going to get 12 organics and 4 metals if you know, put this guy here, etc. So there's a bit of, like, this is where, like, a bit of base management comes in / priority on what you want to focus on. Of course, the more the more modules you're going to build and the more dudes you're going to branch, the more alternates you make, the more complex this is going to get, from 1 to 2 to 3 to multiple outposts and many different types of rooms, etc., etc. 12-hour workday, I quit. Same. So the bottom branch is the scientist guy branching off the main branch. The top guy is the tech dude. Now keep in mind, what that means is all of the memories here on the left are shared with all 3 of them. The memories here are only shared between him and the scientists. And any memories past the second branch are only for the main character. And of course, these branches are only for the guys you made. And yes, you can, remember, you can branch off a branch, meaning some of the characters can share memories together that you don't share with them later. And could be a bonding experience or something that works against you, etc. Wait, did he just build another guy? Is that what? Sorry, I wasn't paying attention to that. Too busy yapping. Yappa, yappa, yappa. I think I built a third guy at the very end. I forgot who I built. He made a miner, but they're 35 years old. How's that possible? Yeah, I don't think I chose the miner. Okay, so he's branching off of the initial branch of the tech now. Yum, 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 yum. So he has a Yon Miner, Yon Tech, and Yon Scientist. You can see the quantum slots at the bottom are now full. So he cannot make any more dudes. But I did talk to them and they did confirm that you do indeed get more quantum slots later. So you are not limited, especially this early in the playthrough, for like only, you know, 3 choices of branches. There's meant to be many more. I don't know how many they didn't say, but I mean, if some of the trailers and whatever, anything to go by, probably like 6 to 8 maybe, or 6 to 10 maybe, rough area. I think 8-ish is probably sounds about right. Oh wait, I did do the miner. Remember, he loses his arm. That's right. I did do this guy. I didn't do the scientist though. So I did the tech by default and the miner, because I was like, yeah, somebody's got to go mine outside. Now, keep in mind, all of the issues that you would experience going to certain stations are compounded onto whoever you send out as well. So this guy's a miner, so if you send him out to start drilling at one of your stations and you send him to the station that has radiation, well then he's going to be getting radiation while he's out there working. So you might want to rotate different dudes there or rotate with him, because then you're going to have to keep an eye on this guy's radiation or he's going to die or something, right?
Oh, shit. That's it then. I'm dead already. Not yet, brother, not yet. Damn it. Yet another disappointment. You're on strong sedatives. This is one strange dream.
Why don't we give you a mental checkup first, okay?
Yeah. That's what they always say before they break the bed.
Does he have an arm now? I don't know.
Shoot.
I assume it's some kind of prosthetic.
What's your name?
I didn't see either.
My name is Jan Dolsky, but I'm seeing fucking double. You should worry about that.
We'll get there. Just fill me in on your role on this mission.
Well, I used to be a miner, but then I lost my hand in an accident. Hey, wait a minute.
No, there you go.
What the fuck is this? My fucking arm. It's there again. Okay, I'm done with your little...
So I guess you rebuilt
Tell me
his
what's
arm
going on. What have you
in
done to my body?
making him. Oh yeah, because I guess you make him from your DNA. Oh, that's actually interesting.
Who the hell are you?
You made him from your DNA, and you have an arm,
Jan Dolsky.
but his memories
I got
are of
stranded
him
on a
losing an
desolate
arm, and
planet
now he
where
has
I
his
found
arm back.
Iridium, so I used it to make you my copy.
What the fuck did you drug me with, man?
All the guys that come out are on
insane. What a trip.
immunosuppressant meds, so they don't freak the fuck
It's
out.
not a trip.
So even though he's kind of
It's
freaking
reality.
out, it's like,
Your
you know,
new
mitigated by
reality.
90%, so they don't lose their
yeah?
mind and go crazy right away.
Well, in
That's
that
why they're
case,
always like, what the fuck is going on?
You'd be kind enough to tell me why your body's so damn intact. Because if you really are who you claim to be, both of us should be short an arm.
That's smart. We're not exact copies. We only share the same DNA. Our minds and memories are different.
Okay. I knew it was a fucking mistake the moment I signed up for this.
Who or what's the evil
damn it.
voice? I don't know. As far as I know, it's some kind of
You want to know what's
corporation
cool about
guys that I think you work for, if I remember correctly. And they're very interested, and all they really care about is the rapidium you found
know.
on the planet,
Tell
that
me.
like weird ore.
Keeping all
But
that
like
shit
I didn't
I
play
went
long
through
enough to
in my
really
head.
see or
Now that-
know exactly who they were.
This crew
But it seemed like that kind of thing. So he's back outside. He's got 3 dudes now. This is probably part of the main ongoing story. And when we played for 2.5-ish hours. In that time, unfortunately, my station lost power 3 times, so I had to restart a couple times. So I lost some time, but I zoomed through pretty quickly. More or less, everyone got to the same point. So I mean, in 2.5 hours, 3 hours of gameplay, learning,
You can
reading
trust
tooltips
me
and
and
stuff.
Lucas completely.
As far as the main story goes, you
But
probably didn't really get
if
through very
anyone
much
else
of it. You know what I
contacts
mean?
you,
So
it's
it's
absolutely
not like they gave
vital
us
you don't tell
unrestricted
them
access to the
anything
game for a
about the
week or
existence
something.
of your altars.
I have no idea who Maxwell is, by the way.
You know very well why, Jan. The law has been violated.
I thought Lucas said the branching was authorized.
You haven't been listening. There are no procedures for this sort of situation. There is no one who can officially authorize such an act.
I guess apparently you
At the end of the day,
branching yourself is
it was
illegal.
your decision to branch yourself. It will be in your best interest to keep that in mind when considering the consequences.
I don't like the sound of this.
Rapidium Arc, Jan. That's what you should focus on right now. Your secret is safe with me and Lucas. Once you come back with a remedy for Earth's ailments, nobody will think of punishing you for how you got it.
is. In mine, you do end up talking to your... when I was playing, you do end up talking to your wife again. Not... Like, she doesn't die, remember? You guys just split up. She doesn't... It's your mom that dies. But your wife also works for the company, and she's, like, sketchy, and she's like, I can totally help you if you tell me more about the Rapidian. So you're like, hey, wait a minute, what the fuck? You actually even care about me, or you just care about the Rapidian?
Want me to take a look there? Should I resolve this?
When you build a new station, you see, like... Oh, I haven't seen this before either. Yon technician and scientists are arguing. So you gotta play daddy. This is the tool I said that you can use to climb up cliffs. Takes a little bit of energy. Yeah, come here, mister. Come here. Oh, yes. Alrighty.
So is the altered considered your brother or your son? Or both?
Neither. It's an alternate. An alternate universe version of yourself that you've called into your universe, right? That you've created in your universe. I didn't even know there was a deep deposit Rapidian. I didn't get this far on the map. Nice of them to give us some extra footage. No, it's not really a clone. They're very adamant to say that they're not clones because clones don't have their own developed memories branching, like, with different experiences from you, right? So, as far as, like, physically from your DNA, I guess it's kind of a clone in that sense, yeah. But it's beyond a clone, which is why they're calling them alternates. Hence, the alters. If you alter your GF, would it be counted as cheating? Yes. On account of what I just said. But who am I to say no? When the fruit is there. The fruit of temptation. Oh,
Hey,
wait, that just reminded me. There was an option there that said give him the ball. So, when you're exploring around the area, you can find, like, little, like, crash pods and, like, luggage storages, things like that, that can have different random things in them. So in this case, he found a ball. And you can give some of these objects to your alters, I guess, like, as sometimes as, like, hey, let's be friends, or, like, to trigger a memory, or, you know, that kind of thing. So there was a give ball option to this guy.
Yeah.
What is
for
it?
whatever it might have been
something
contextually. I don't know. I didn't interact with this guy very much.
Keep me going. I feel like shit.
What do you mean?
The arm that I lost in an accident. It's weird, but it hurts. I mean, fuck, it hurts.
But your arm's there. And it looks fine.
I know it's fucked up, but so is everything else here. This arm is yours, not mine. I'm not some kind of wimp, so if I say it hurts, it really fucking hurts, alright?
Okay, calm down. I believe you.
Alright, so you know there's only one way to deal with it, right? Numb the son of a bitch.
What are you talking about?
Painkillers, what else? Tramadol, hydrocodone, codeine, or that shit you doped me with before. That should do the trick.
Okay, I'll give you some more.
What? I'm not giving you any more of that stuff. It's too strong.
Come on, bro. I'm not a kid. I know what I'm doing.
Come on, man. I just need one more hit, brother.
That's exactly why I'm not giving you more. They're highly addictive, and I don't want your head messed up. Oh, come on. This is probably just a psychosomatic problem. You're still in shock after waking up with a different body.
Psycho what? Just give me those goddamn pills.
No, it's all in your head. Just wait it out, and I'm sure it will pass.
You know what? Fuck you, sadist.
Hey, I found this. I
think
brought
it's
it
the
on this
ball.
mission, but thought that maybe it could mean something to you too.
Is that the ball from the Titan Tigers game?
That's right. I knew you'd be excited. Yeah. So many good memories linked to this one.
Yeah. They scored the last goal of the season with that ball, after everyone wrote them off. Maybe it's a sign that we can make it as well. Thanks.
True weekend, Tiger. Yeah, so it's nighttime now, so they stayed out too late. So luckily they were near fast travel, but if you're caught out in the middle during nighttime radiation, it goes up really quickly. Your radiation bar, that is. I don't know. I'm just trying to build a greenhouse. Yeah, I built a greenhouse. And I got the guy who can like help with farming and shit. I had no idea you could move modules, man. I had no idea. It's good, though. I don't know what he's trying to do because he's full on modules. Yeah, see, I built the botanist. Branching limit reached. Oh, all of a sudden he has 4 slots. Okay, so I guess they just, for dev purposes, showed that you can go more. Cool. That's that, chat. Let me see if there's anything else in these screenshots that will tickle a memory. Showed you guys this. So as you can see, you get a lot of storages, and you can expand more stuff later. Playing beer pong with the homies. Yeah, so okay, he's got 4 here and like a bunch of different things to do. Different areas to assign to. So the planet. The memories. Talking to the scientist. Alright. I think that's all the stuff they give us. Yeah, it is. Okay, cool. So that's it. Oh. Mr. Cat. So yeah, so that's the game. I think they said they're planning on coming out with it roughly like Q3. They basically just don't want to like over launch titles too close together, and since Frostpunk 2 is already at the end of July, it'll be a bit longer after that, but the plan is definitely this year. It's not like a hopefully this year thing, so like Q3-ish. Cool. Anybody have any other questions? There's already a couple of new mechanics in there that I saw, so I don't know if they're going to introduce any more outside of that, but that's kind of the shtick and gameplay loop with it. Elder Scrolls 6 never going to happen? Isn't that like their main title that they're working on right now? I have a cat hair like somewhere in my mouth. I can't pinpoint it though. It's a Mr. Cat hair. Cool. All right. Yeah, it was pretty fun. It's definitely like a slower paced game and stuff, right? So if you're looking for like Returnal style crazy action, you're not going to get that. Like it's like a slow burner. You build relationships, and you know shit's going to hit the fan at some point. As you saw, like 2 of them were fighting, and so a lot of it is just not population management, but like social management, morals management. And then, there's the elements of just like base management and crafting and gathering to a certain extent. Cool. All right. Well, if you guys have any other questions, you can just DM me or ask later. But that's it.